The way
Coming up
I just
on
want
Listen
to
Lissa.
scream. Projection bothers me to no end. It's so frustrating. She literally says,
You have done minimal. You make excuses and then blame me.
that's what you're doing. That's you. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Hey! Listen!
Hey babes, welcome back to Listen Lissa. I am your host, Alyssa. What's up? It is update time, guys. It is update time. I am ready to share with you what's happened with Hailey and her Madre. I made sure not to read through all of the texts before doing this episode. I'm reading through them for the first time completely with you. All right, so without further ado, let's just get right into it. All right, this update was posted by Hailey again in subreddit Insane Parents, and it was posted 9 days ago. The original one was posted 22 days ago. About 2 weeks later, this is the update. This post is called Update on My Mom, and this is part 1 for this update. And it received 295 upvotes. It received 153 comments. The only context Hailey gives on this one is, I'm 18, by the way, and she told me she's expecting around $700 a month. So I'm guessing that's in reference to her rent. This update starts with Madre, of course. Madre always has a lot more to say than Hailey, typically. It starts with,
No idea if you are staying in blank, and I get moving out. But that means you're just not coming home anymore? Where are you going to live? Getting a place? Staying with
I think, her boyfriend's.
Mom? Curious because, number one, I think that's such a sad way to end our time together, but it's up to you. Number two, if you are not coming home, I will start moving your stuff around. Then, I guess. No need to let that room sit like that, then if you're not going to use it, if you're not using it. If you could respond tonight to this, that'd be great. I don't really care to make this conversation that could have been wrapped up in an hour roll into day number 3 because of your lack of response.
So right off the bat, I can tell you, of course, there's always a chance that my assessment could be wrong. I don't know these people. I am basing this off of things that I've seen other people do, that I've noticed about behavior, that I study a lot of behavior. I was a behavioral therapist. So what this looks like to me is this is the tactic of baiting someone into having to respond who is clearly ignoring you. So Hailey has ended conversation with her mother. She's not responding to texts. She hasn't been for a while. And that is because she has already told her,
I do not like the way you talk to me. I don't want to be spoken to this way.
she has put out a boundary, and essentially her mom has ruined the relationship here because she continues to talk to her disrespectfully and come at her that way and think that she can get away with it. And now one of her tricks and tactics is when Hailey stops responding, she's got to bait her into responding again. So this whole
Stop dragging this out, your lack of response.
and just acting like she has to respond, acting like she thinks that she's just taking a while to respond when she knows exactly why Hailey's not responding to her. She continues, ?
Also, would appreciate if you could come for a sleepover Friday night, so I can at least spend one more night with you. I wasn't prepared, and it isn't right to end like this.
This is the same tactic I'm talking about. She's trying anything to bait her into responding.
Would appreciate ending it on a good note, like we deserve. Order pizza or something, or go out. Could even cook something, whatever you'd like. Thank you.
Okay, so those messages were sent at 11:39 p.m. And then the next message comes in at 3:48 a.m. and it's just ? So Hailey did not respond. But Madre apparently was up very late. And before we go on, I just want to say, one, OP Hailey. It's preposterous that her mom thinks she's going to want to come over. I really hope she doesn't come over for a sleepover. When we know now that her mom, did that to her. And that was after she came back the first time when she told her to come back. And then her mom said that was because she was drunk and tripping on hallucinant, whatever kind of drug. And she said that's why she grabbed her and did that to her. And now Hailey's gotten her very upset. Her mom flew off the handle. She said all these horrible things that I want you out of my life. And then now, since Hailey is going ahead and moving on forward with that, because she's told her many times, stop talking to me like that, stop treating me like that, I don't want it. And now she's moving forward with getting out of the house and kind of keeping her distance and severing the relationship somewhat. Why would this mother think that she's going to want to come over and sleep over? And also, this is just wild behavior. This seems like something someone would do with an ex that they don't want to let go of. Like, I mean, I'll be really honest. This is similar to behavior I've even done in a relationship. Not the first part. Not the first part. But the stuff I've done when someone is just inexplicably, completely not responding to me, going through a breakup or something like that. And I'm hurt by that. And I've totally done the thing where I'm just like trying to get a response, not in a negative way, but like where I'm offering to, let's just spend one more time together. You know, everybody's heard about the one last time, like, let's get the closure, you know, and it's BS. It's not, you're never going to get closure when you're severing a relationship and you're hurt over it. That offering is such BS because it's just a desperation to see that person again. You're just so broken by the severing of the relationship that you want so badly to get one more opportunity to be around them because you're so in need of them at that time. You feel like you're coming off of a drug or something. You're like withdrawing from them and you would do anything to see them and just get near them. You think if you can just get near them, then whatever you guys had is going to take effect and maybe somehow you can get them to care and things like that. So that's similar to what her mom is doing right now. And I just think it's so interesting that it would be done in this type of a relationship where she's trying to get that. She's trying to bait her daughter into this one last time hangout thing that is so odd when pulled between a mother and daughter. I feel I've never seen that in my life. And that makes me wonder if she's gonna hurt her again. If she's very angry. She seems very vengeful and spiteful. And I would definitely not do this if I were Hailey, and I really hope she doesn't. So, let's see. This continues at 9:31 a.m., so the next morning.
I want a response by 1 p.m. today.
She's fooling herself to think she's still in control here. It's hilarious.
If you can't respond, I'll just shut your phone off. Oh my God. F this. No need to pay for something you don't respond to me on. I'm sick of this. All of it.
Do it! Do it. Do it.
Just do it! She says you are not right in your decision or the way you're going about it. You are being selfish and hurtful.
Funny.
I do not want to keep reaching out or paying for someone who treats me like I hardly exist.
They get themselves into this mess and then they want to play the victim. Hailey says,
that's what the plan is. It means I won't be home anymore. And I'm really not sure about that whole sleepover thing.
Good for you.
Madre says, where are you moving to? When will you start paying me?
She's rapid firing these messages.
Alrighty, just gonna turn your phone off soon. F this. Can't even have a sleepover and end this properly. WTFE. What the F ever. My door will always be open to you, but F this and F your ill treatment.
I can't even say it anymore.
I want you to pay me ASAP or I'll start turning other things off. Do not move your car until I receive money.
Here we go again. She cannot help herself. I don't know why she thinks this is still going to work. It's not working for you.
She says, if I don't receive money for car in a month, I will sell it and turn off your insurance. F this. I don't need to pay for someone who can't even stand me.
Then be someone who is standable, ma'am.
She says, you were wrong that night too. You were horrible too. You should be apologizing and correcting also.
This is something that happened to me in my relationship as well. The only time that they would take even a small amount of accountability, which they almost never did, but when they finally would even take a little bit, it would always be very quickly followed up with,
we're both in the wrong. But both of us need to apologize. But we both did things wrong.
And it's like, okay, great. Even though it was very unbalanced, clearly, I didn't care. Like, I would accept that and admit that I clearly have flaws as well. So, like, along the way that I did many things wrong and even some of them being in response to how I was being treated. But it didn't matter. I would fully agree to that. And then I would just be like,
Okay, but then, like, so these are the things that have to change and blah, blah, blah.
he wanted to stay on.
We both do that.
And it just wouldn't go anywhere. He would just never accept accountability, ever. Unless mildly to include me in on it. That's the only time he could feel comfortable to sort of take responsibility for anything.
Madre says, I will not pay your bills. You went out of my life? Good riddance. Toodles. You will regret this. You are wrong. This isn't okay. I will not stand for it.
Hailey says,
I don't really see why you need to know where I'm going to stay, really. I wasn't saying no to the sleepover, just I'm not sure about it. That's hard for me to walk into.
hello. And then Madre just keeps going. She's not listening. She's not even reading it. She just says,
I want
Hailey's boyfriend.
start paying me within a week, or I will pursue small claims.
She's doing that thing again where she's just like pulling out every threat she can think of. It's just so tired and so lame and stupid and like obviously doesn't work. I don't know why she would even try. And it's like, lady, just shut everything off like you threatened and like move on.
I'm paying your bills. I can know where you are staying.
Except you just said you were going to stop paying her bills. And then she says,
Why don't you want to tell me? If I can't know where you're living, I'm turning everything off today.
it's so evident how desperate she is for control. So evident. And a reaction.
I want my keys back tomorrow. Let me know when you'll be around. I'll get your stuff into storage and you can grab it from there.
Hailey says,
I just don't get why you need to know. If you wanted to, there would have been more okay.
oh, I love it. I love it. Yes, Hailey, young queen. Yes, Hailey, young queen.
If you wanted to, there would have been more efforts preemptively to keep a better relationship here. I want a good relationship with you. You are my mom. But I've also been telling you for a few years, if you keep talking to me the way you do and using me as a therapist the way you do, I wouldn't be keeping in contact after I turn 18. I set my boundaries so many times, which was only that I didn't like how I've been talked to for years. I'm sorry it's all going this way. It wasn't what I wanted either. But it's also the boundaries I set for myself, for my own good. I love you still because you're my mom.
Oh, it's like a world of difference between her and her mother. It's crazy. Madre. This response, I can't. I swear, like if I didn't know that this was the mom and that Hailey talking was the daughter, I would think it was the other way around. Because this response is so unhinged, okay? Madre says,
You didn't tell me you'd cut off contact. You taught me nothing other than you are just like me. And you'll regret this, and you are wrong. But all right, cut me off. I'll cut you off also.
let's think about that, okay? Hailey just poured out that I really didn't want it to be this way. But I've told you for years, I don't like to be talked to so terribly. I don't like to be verbally abused and called names and talked to so aggressively and treated this way all the time and be used as your therapist and da-da-da-da-da. I've told you this. I set my boundaries. I told you if you kept doing it, I was going to cut you off at 18. So you kept doing it and it sucks because I love you. You're my mom, but I told you to stop this and you didn't. And her response to that is,
You didn't tell me you'd cut me off, though.
okay, someone shouldn't have to tell you they're going to cut you off if you don't stop abusing them for you to get through your head that they don't want to be abused and you should stop it. So it's like she's saying,
Well, I kept doing it anyway because I didn't really care how you felt, but, like, you didn't say you were going to do something back to me.
so telling. So telling. Hailey says,
I very much know I did.
tell you, basically.
I remember a few times where I said it.
Madre says,
Best wishes to you. I've been trying to repair.
Hailey says,
I'm not trying to teach you anything.
Madre says,
I never heard that. Sorry. You never clearly communicated.
shifting the blame again.
You said you were.
Back to trying not to teach. I'm not trying to teach you anything. Madre says,
But all right, that's fine, Hailey. You have until tomorrow to fill out financial aid.
another thing. Just trying to scare her into like, oh, you can't be an adult. You don't even know what you're getting into. Look at all these things that you have to take care of as an adult. Look, there's so many things. You're never going to be able to handle it all. And she's trying to scare her. She's trying to make sure so much is piled onto her that she's so overwhelmed that she'll fail at doing this on her own. She wants her to fail and come crawling back to her and realize that she can't do it on her own.
This is another dead giveaway that this person is an abuser, because you can't win. There's no scenario where you're not getting put down, criticized. Because if you just think about the way she's gone about this, when Hailey wasn't doing what she wanted her to do, when she wasn't giving her the responses that she wanted, whatever that even was, she was all about, you've been dropping the ball. You haven't been taking care of your responsibilities. You haven't been holding jobs or being an adult. You know, she's ragging on her for not being an adult. But then when Hailey takes that and says, okay, I'll do what you're asking. I'm going to go out and I'm going to be an adult. Then she wants to tell her all these horrific things that she should just be so worried about how hard it's going to be an adult, to scare her and dissuade her from being an adult, to try to get her to come back. It's all about control. That is a great indication. Obviously, she didn't actually want her to do all those things. She doesn't actually want her to be an adult and actually be completely independent and take hold of her life and succeed. No, she wants to control her. And it's very evident, because either route she takes, she always loses. And that's how you know someone does not have your best interest at heart. They're not looking out for you. They're not genuinely concerned about anything for you. They just want to control you, because you can't win no matter what option you pick.
She then says,
You have hospital bills and taxes.
which I just said. Hailey says,
I know I said it many times, clearly and directly to you.
I like how Hailey's not letting her mom just distract from her correcting her gaslighting. So the mom is gaslighting her. She's telling her something happened a different way than she's very sure it happened. And Hailey is not just letting her bulldoze over that and just glaze over and move on. She's very succinctly telling her, no, that's not correct, and keeping it short. It's good to do this, but with certain types of people, it's just not worth it. But I'm glad she's doing it. I mean, it makes me feel bad. I love when people handle people like this way. It doesn't always get anywhere, but it feels like you're correcting the wrong that they're doing. I don't know that it's actually doing that, though, you know. Madre's just continuing to go. She's not even reading Hailey's messages. She says,
I am not doing any of that.
hospital bills, taxes, whatever.
I am cutting off all your bills. Don't touch the car. You were wrong that night, too. You acted incorrectly also.
That gives you a right to... Right? Yeah. Just like how she's so mouthy, and that's what gave you a right to cuss her out for hours and hours and hours. Hailey says,
I don't understand why I'm being punished for standing up for myself, but I can't change your mind. That's fine.
rage. She's going to rage her. Hailey says,
I don't see how I did. And still, if I did, nothing excuses attempting to end my life 2 times.
so she's talking about that night when her mom, with the keys. Madre responds,
You're not standing up for yourself. I didn't even know that's what was going on because you didn't communicate it.
she's demeaning her, and she's also dismissing her boundaries. She's invalidating and demeaning Hailey's boundaries by acting as though like she never even knew that's what was going on. She failed to communicate, and so she wasn't even aware that this was what was happening, and that she was being told not to talk to her this way. So it's just a tactic to make Hailey feel like,
You didn't win. You didn't do anything important. You didn't win one over on me.
but she did. Hailey is fully winning right now. And then Madre says,
I didn't try ending your life, but okay. Poor Hailey.
oh, Whew. Lord. Jesus help her. Hailey says,
I've tried many times to communicate.
Madre said after this long. I think this is probably the first time Madre took a moment to even realize that Hailey's responding. Because she says,
Hey, look, you can respond.
Hailey says,
You literally... me.
Madre says,
I was grabbing my keys.
Hailey says,
I specifically remember starting to black out. Grabbing them doesn't have any correlation to holding the keys like a rope around my neck.
Madre says,
Should have just given me my keys. And not come home that night, but alrighty. Punish me forever.
how's she gonna give you your keys if she doesn't come home? No sense. Makes no sense.
That's cool. That's fine. Enjoy your space and life. I want my keys. Your stuff is going into storage this weekend. Don't touch the car. I'm selling it.
Hailey says,
You pulled them up and around and behind my head.
she's determined for her to not dismiss this.
You were me. I've also seen you ex-boyfriends. I know what happened to my body.
Madre says,
Your phone will be off in 20 minutes.
this is what Madre says back to those allegations. She says,
That's cool. Would have been a great conversation to have, but she never allowed a chance to talk. So, go along, big girl. Be free.
ugh. Hailey says,
Literally tried Tuesday.
Madre says,
No, you didn't.
Hailey says,
And then you had other things to do.
Madre says,
I told you my time frame and you had me waiting and waiting. And I'm not going to spend any more time waiting on someone who can't make time for me.
Hailey then posts a screenshot in response to that. I'm going to tell you, people like this, the thing is, all their behavior is very evident and right there in front of them. Like I say, all these times, like, just look right in front of you. Like, read the text. It's right here, what you're doing. Those same people, they hate it when you produce the screenshot of them doing what you're saying for them. They hate that. They hate that. Even though they know it's available right there, they hate this.
It's also completely a waste of time. These types of people are not going to ever acknowledge any evidence that you bring forth. You could bring forth anything. You could bring forth something that is indisputable, undeniable, right in front of their face, show it to them, watch them see it, and they will still not acknowledge that they were in the wrong. They will not. They will not acknowledge your proof. I had to learn this very painstakingly in my last relationship. It's absolutely exhausting and it gets you nowhere. So I doubt this is going to have any effect on Madre, but let's see what happens.
So I can't imagine this is going to go well. Let's see what the screenshot says. The screenshot is of texts that are from Hailey. Hailey saying,
Not sure yet. She isn't back and I haven't heard any update. Because I'm also in Fell Rapids, so it's like a half-hour drive back to the apartment. Just let me know what you decide.
Madre responded to those messages saying,
Okay, I'll probably just head out.
so these were to prove that Hailey tried to meet up on Tuesday to talk, like she said, and that her mom had to leave. And that's pretty much what this text shows. So, seeming like Hailey was right. Let's see. And then Hailey, she posts more of a screenshot here. The rest of the screenshot says,
The rest of the screenshot has no information that's pertinent to the story. It's just them texting afterwards. So I'm going to skip it.
and then Hailey follows up with that screenshot saying,
You never told me a time frame. You simply asked when I'd be available and such.
Madre says, I told you, they hate this. They hate it. Madre says,
I did too. One moment, I'll grab a screenshot, you a-hole.
they hate that. Oh. Okay, let's see. Let's see if she has a screenshot. Let's see what happens. Madre, let's see what it says. Hailey says,
Capital One,
I don't know what it says before that, but
Capital One, I spaced. I know you've been reminding me. I just didn't think about it after the W-2s. And tomorrow, like 12 to 4. So basically, when you're off work, I'll be available.
Madre responds,
Alrighty, just know I won't be at the house tonight if you want to head there tonight at all. Then I'm off work tomorrow at 2. Gonna work out, then we'll be free. Likely won't be home tomorrow night if you want to stay there tomorrow at all. Also have a form for you to get paid for your babysitting gig. Came from the state.
Madre says,
Love you and hope you have a good night.
okay. It seems like Madre says like she'll be available the next day after 2, after she works out. But then at the nighttime, she's going to leave, I guess. So basically leaving the evening hours as the time frame when they can talk. doesn't really specify a time, but yeah, she sort of communicated. So Madre follows up that screenshot with,
I did communicate. You are so wrong, Hailey, about all of this.
she thinks she really proved something there. She thinks she did. Hailey says,
Tomorrow night is not a time frame.
Madre says,
But you know what? F this. I tried. I'm cutting you off. Goodbye. Best wishes.
I have a feeling that's not it. Wish it was. Okay, and then Hailey says,
Because tomorrow night could be 4 or it could be 8.
Madre says, I did communicate. Just doubling down. Doesn't care about that very good point that Hailey just made. Hailey says,
That's so vague and unfair that I was left to interpret when that meant. When you knew I worked from about 12 to 5.
Madre says,
You told me 4. Anywho. I'm done with this. You're wrong. I'm not going to keep wasting energy. You're stuck in your ways. I suck. Blah, blah.
That's really good. She knows that she's being defeated by evidence right now. So, of course, what else would she do than act like a complete child and throw in the towel and be like, you're just gonna make me the bad guy. You're attacking me. Yeah, it's really lame. I wanted to see. I see. So she said, Hailey said she had to work till 4, and then she updated her saying, in that screenshot it said, not sure yet she isn't back, and I haven't heard any update. So that's like probably for the babysitting thing. She's probably babysitting, and that's why she says she's not going to get off work till 4. That's probably when the mother's supposed to come back home of the kid she's babysitting, and they weren't back yet. So that's why she then says, it's about a half-hour drive back to the apartment once I do get out of here, but I'm waiting for the mom, you know? And then Madre answered those messages by saying, okay, I'll probably just head out. So she didn't wait for her. She didn't wait for her daughter. And this was only like shortly after 4 o'clock. So that's why that corroborates the point that Hailey's trying to make. She's saying, I was available to talk Tuesday. I told you my work hours and you didn't want to wait. You said you were leaving the house. Madre says, no, I communicated. And so then Hailey proved to her that exactly what Hailey said happened. And that's why Madre said, whatever, F this. I'm cutting you off. You're wrong. You're so wrong. Yeah. Hailey responds,
Okay.
Madre says,
Do not enter my apartment without notice. I'm turning everything off. You really hurt me. And I hope one day you'll realize and apologize. My door will be open.
I thought you needed notice. I think your door is closing. Many times you said, don't come in my apartment. I don't think your door is open at all. Hailey says,
If that's what you feel is best, but I'm not going to regret my decision.
yes. Madre says,
Until then, not paying your bills while you treat me like I'm non-existent. You will, Hailey. You will.
oh, don't. This is definitely what you don't do with this type of person. You don't continue the conversation. So Hailey asks the question.
How have I treated you like you're non-existent? What?
I understand why she wants to ask that because it's a blatant lie. I get it, but like, you know there's no way you have. So the response is going to be stupid and lies. So why ask? But it's hard. Madre says,
I'm magnificent.
Stop the cap.
And I love you a lot. You will miss me. Say what you want. It's fine.
I mean, it's probably true she will miss her, but not like what she's saying. Madre says,
Have a great life. I'll think of you every day and send my love.
Bruh.
why didn't you just love her while she was in your life? Why didn't you just treat her like you loved her? That would have been a lot smarter.
Good luck with your arrogance and victim mentality.
Jail!
Love you, daughter. Goodbye.
Oh, the audacity. And Hailey ends that thread with a thumbs up back to her mom. Then it goes to some more messages. I don't know how soon after that this was, but this time Hailey has dragged the messages over to the side so that we can see all the timestamps. And this is to demonstrate how rapidly these messages are coming in. So all these times where we see Madre just back to back to back to back, this is to demonstrate how quickly that's actually happening in real time. So currently when she takes this screenshot, it is 11:44 on her phone. And the messages here on this screen start at 11:39 a.m. Oh, 11:39 a.m. Madre sends,
When will
her boyfriend, I think.
start paying me back? I want to know.
And then 11:39 a.m., so same minute.
I want that money. I couldn't afford it. I was helping you all out because I care. What an effing mistake that was.
11:40 a.m. 4 question marks. 11:41 a.m. 4 question marks. 11:41 a.m. still same minute.
I want my 500 from.
Her boyfriend. Still 11:41 a.m.
When will he start paying?
Still 11:41 a.m.
I have his info and will pursue legal action.
Hailey responds at 11:43.
Jesus Christ, I was going pee, Mom. It has been 3 minutes.
You're saying it's been 3 minutes since you literally asked when he was going to start paying back. And then straight to legal action. Okay. Madre responds, same minute. Literally right after Hailey sends the text, she responds,
I don't care. When will
her boyfriend,
pay me back?
same minute, 11:43 a.m. still.
I want my money.
11:43 a.m. still.
You could have responded with an answer instead of more BS.
11:44 a.m.
Stop wasting my time.
There's no time that has passed to be wasted. I would, just the stress of that, I would go insane. I would go my anxiety, my heart palpitations, I would be in the hospital. This poor girl. She asks again. Madre says, when will her boyfriend pay me? Hailey says,
I don't have a direct answer right now.
Madre says,
I will start legal action next week if I don't see money. You should. It's been a month.
Hailey says,
I don't know what you want me to say. I can't magically produce $500 within a week. I know Grandma offered to help you. So if it's really affecting you that extreme, then take the help you're being offered while I get on my feet. Other than that, I'm not sure what to tell you right now.
she's told her very many times she doesn't have the money yet and that she's going to pay her when she gets it. But then she just wants to continuously beat her over the head with the fact that she owes it to her at every turn. This is exactly what my ex did to me. Exactly. He would give me money freely, sometimes, without me even asking at times. He would lend me money for something that he found out I needed. And then I would offer to pay him back. Not even him telling me I had to. I would just offer it. I've never in my life not paid someone back when they've helped me out with money. Ever. It was so hurtful to me because that's something that's very important to me, my integrity. And he would just badger me daily about it. He would make little jokes about it. He would bring it up in every conversation. It wasn't what we were talking about. And I would be like,
I told you. One, you didn't need to help me. I could have gotten help otherwise. I would have figured it out. I didn't ask you for help with that. And I've told you when I can pay you back. And I'm going to do it. So why are you trying to make me feel like crap because I borrowed it?
he would say such demeaning things to me. I found out later he would go around telling other people that
She borrowed my money and he hasn't paid me back yet.
like I'm some kind of something I'm so not. It's so the opposite of my character that it harmed me so well. It got me in such a frenzy. And then on top of that, I would try to pay him back. I would actually pay money back to him. I would send it back to him. He would send the money back to me again. Multiple times. And I would have to actually go up to him and say,
Why are you sending the money back? I'm paying you back like I said I was going to. You keep acting like you need this money so bad. Like, why aren't you taking it now that I'm sending it to you?
and he would just totally flip the script and be like,
Oh no, you need it. Just, you can pay me back. I'm fine right now. Like, you get back on your feet, get straight. Like, you're good. Spend it on something else you need. Like, I'm fine.
he would just act like he was being so generous. And I would be like,
Thank you. But also, you're not going to badger me about it then, right? Because I have it right now to give to you, so why don't you just take it? I actually would prefer that you take it because then it's off my shoulders and it's off something I need to remember to pay. And I don't want something to happen to where something gets taken out of my account and then I can't pay you tomorrow or something. Let's just take the money.
and he would just refuse. He would send it right back to me. Within 24 hours, this man would again make a comment about all the money he pays for me and all the money he lends me, and I haven't even paid him back yet. And I would want to scream. I would want to tear walls down. I got so sick of this. It's maddening. It's so annoying and just revolting when someone does that to you. It's a sabotage and a setup for failure. They want control over you. They're just toying with you. It's so annoying. It's all games. It's not even about the money at all. It's not about the money. This is what Madre says about if you need the money that soon. Grandma said she can help you.
I didn't give Grandma the 500. I gave you guys. I told you to pay me back, not my mother.
She doesn't have it to give to you right now.
Then she says, if that has anything to do with this, that's fine. My mom helps, yes, but she's never fully supported like I'm doing with you.
Has anything to do with what? What is she talking about? Oh, she's trying to say if that has anything to do with why you think you don't have to pay me back. When she's not paying you back, dude. She says, I can't afford it. She can. That's that entitlement attitude. That's that.
I'm the biggest victim.
It's that lack of empathy. She sees it as something wrong when it's being done to her. But everybody else is just in a different, better position. And it's not affecting them that way. When she does it to other people, when she's the same need on her own mother, it's not as bad because her mom can afford it. So she's not doing anything wrong. But Madre can't afford it, so Hailey is a terrible person. Hailey is a drain on her, and Hailey is ruining her life, and Hailey's the one in the wrong. When clearly Madre has the same dynamic at times, has had to have the same help all the way up to her lovely age of 34. It's such entitlement and lack of empathy. The inability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, even though you should know how it is. You see yourself as something separate, something special, something different. Do we know what trait that is? What is that a trait of, guys? We know. I'm seeing a lot of that here. Anyways, we don't diagnose.
She says, you agreed to pay, you should pay.
Hailey says,
I'm not saying we're not going to, but it is not possible right now, or within the next week immediately.
Madre says,
My mom wouldn't let me.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I can't. Her mother is not a nice person. She's not a good person. She's certainly not a good mother. This is what she's decided to say to her daughter now, after all of this. She says,
My mom wouldn't let me have birth control.
to her daughter, she's saying, this woman, gross, disgusting.
I became a mom at 15.
Same. And I never, ever treated one of my children anywhere close to this. Ever. Ever. And I'm not trying to play holier than thou. The way this lady behaves is disgusting.
My life became 10 times harder. I worked my A off. So many things became impossible for me just because I was a young, single mom.
Well, that's just great to say to your daughter. My oldest son, who is about to be 22, the one I had when I was 16, I was pregnant at 15, had him at 16. He has asked me at times, how was that? He wanted the genuine answer of what my experience was with that. And I have shared with him at times some of my struggles of how difficult it was, because clearly I do want to send the message to teenagers that it is not a good idea to have a child if you can prevent it when you're a teenager. Yes. But I've never said something this vile in this way and in this context after I've just thoroughly ruined my relationship with my child, called her a million names, tried to make her feel like it's all her fault, and then bring that up? What the hell does that have to do with anything? What are you even getting at, lady? What are you even getting at?
And I've absolutely never thought to myself, wow, I'll never have all the things I want and get everything that I like because I became a mom. It's all my mom's fault. It's all my kid's fault. No, I've only ever felt guilty that I couldn't give my child more. I feel guilty about becoming a teen parent because I couldn't be a better parent. I didn't have the resources to do that. I feel guilty because my child couldn't have that. That's such a good indication. This mom is so self-focused, so woe is me, so self-centered. It's all about her.
So she's gonna keep going. She's blaming her mother for why she has a child and why that's her mother's fault and Hailey's fault, not hers. Okay, that sounds about right.
She says, my mom took away so many opportunities from me by refusing me birth control.
Maybe you took away your opportunities by doing what you did to get pregnant, honey. I did it too. I don't blame other people for the actions that I took. Yeah, we were minor children. We shouldn't have to carry the load of that shame or anything like that. It happened. We weren't fully grown to understand the weight of it. You don't blame other people. It was you and the person that you did that with. So ridiculous. I can't believe that. She's still going. She throws in there.
I'm so grateful for you,
Are you?
but I've had to work so hard.
Oh, the projection. It drives me. You don't understand. I don't know if I can do these very often because the way I just want to scream. Projection bothers me to no end. It's so frustrating. She literally says,
You have done minimal. You make excuses and then blame me.
that's what you're doing. That's you. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Ah! Hailey says,
And you're being offered help. Because I literally cannot do what you're asking. I'm not saying I won't. I am saying I can't. Right now.
Madre still has a point to make, so she keeps going.
I would never make you become a mom at 15. My mom gives me money, but she took so much from me.
F off, lady. F off. F.
She says, I understand that. That's the first time you've directly addressed it, so back off, Hailey.
It's just funny at this point. It's funny. She's been saying that. They're in the text messages. Oh my goodness. This is enough to make anyone go insane. She says,
You have been avoidant. Do not be upset because I want to know what's going on.
Hailey says,
I have definitely said we would.
Madre says,
My mom is wonderful, but she's effed up herself.
that's the end of part 1. What are our thoughts right now? If you have any comments, pause, go put it in the comments what you think about this conversation. I want to know your take on it. My take is that the mom is doing the exact same thing she was doing in the first conversation. I mean, nothing's changed. And I think Hailey's handling it exactly right. But there's nowhere to go with this person. You'd be so much better off. It's hurtful. It's hurtful to have to accept that you won't have a mother. I mean, you only get one mother. You only get one mother. And if you have a mother like this, that's painful. And I'm sure it has to be hard. But there's some people that you'll spend your whole life trying to get through. And you will exhaust yourself. You will run yourself ragged. You will ruin your life trying to speak very basic sense into them. Because they will always be the one who needs to win, the one who needs to get one up on you, the one who needs to instigate and then flip it around on you, the one who needs attention, the one who needs validation, the one who goes off their rocker and then says you provoked them. It's just never going to end. You'll never see them take an ounce of accountability, and you'll always be baited into these situations where you're blamed for things and you're made to feel less than, you're called names, you're abused physically, emotionally, everything. It's just not possible. The only option for Hailey is to cut contact with her mother. I'm going to do part 2 update in the next episode, next couple of days, and I will see you then. Please let me know, what is your take on this? What would you do if you were Hailey? What would you do? Have you ever had someone like this in your life? Please tell me, share. All right, I will see you next time. I love you. Bye.
Hey, listen!